In this video, we're going to look at an example of applying the law of cosines to figure out missing information in a triangle. So you'll see that right off the bat, we know two side lengths, and we know the measure of the angle between those two side lengths. This is the basic set of information we need to be able to apply the law of cosines. We're going to use this to figure out, first, the length of the side that's across from the known angle measure. So if you need to, you can look up the law of cosines. But I'm just going to go ahead and write it here for you. So now let's fill in the missing information. So we have a squared, as we're looking for the value of a. B squared, so b is the side length that's across from angle B, so 15 centimeters squared, plus 7 centimeters squared, minus 2 times 15 times 7 times the cosine of the measure of angle A. So 15 squared plus 7 squared minus 2 times 15 times 7 times the cosine of 32 degrees. So go ahead and take a calculator, figure out 210 times the cosine of 32 degrees. So then a squared is going to be approximately 274 minus 210 times cosine of 32. So 32 degrees, the cosine of that, times 210. So we get approximately 178.1. So then a squared is approximately 95.9. And we're going to take the square root of that. So about 9.79. Centimeters. So we'll add that to our original triangle. So now take a look at what we know and what we still need to figure out. So we have all three side lengths. What we don't know are the measures of angle B and the measures of angle C. Now there's a few different ways we can go about figuring these values out. At this point, the easiest method is to use the law of sines to figure out the measure of angle C. And then once we know that angle measure, we'll have two of the three angle measures in our triangle, and we can figure out the third pretty easily from there. So the sine of the measure of angle C divided by the side length C will be the same as the ratio the sine of the measure of angle A compared to the side length A. So we don't know the measure of angle C, that's what we're trying to figure out. Side length C is 7 centimeters, it's across from that angle measure. Angle A measures 32 degrees. Side length A we figured out was approximately 9.79, so I'm going to put approximately here because we're using a rounded value. So approximately 9.79 centimeters. So then the sine of the measure of angle C will be approximately, we'll multiply by 7 times the value of the ratio. So now grab your calculator, figure out what the value of that ratio is, multiply it by 7. I invite you to check my work here, but this should be approximately equal to 0.3789. So then the measure of angle C is the arc sine, or the inverse sine, of 0.3789. Which is approximately 22.27 degrees. So we'll go ahead and add that. So now we just have one angle measure left, so we're going to take 180 degrees and we'll subtract 32 degrees and 22.27 degrees, see what we have left. You can grab a calculator and do that. You're going to get 125.73 degrees. So now we have all the information missing from the triangle. So we have three angle measures, we have three side lengths. The largest angle measure is across from the longest side length. The smallest angle measure is across from the shortest side length, so all of that checks out. And just to kind of recap what we did, We began using the law of cosines to figure out the final unknown side length in the triangle. Then we used the law of sines to figure out one of the remaining unknown angle measures. And then we'd use the fact that the three interior angle measures of a triangle have to sum to 180 degrees to figure out the third missing, or the other missing angle measure. And this is the basic process you're going to follow anytime you have a triangle where you know your initial given information is that you know an angle measure and you know the two side lengths that join to form that angle, and you don't know the other information about the triangle. Later in this investigation, we're going to look at how you can use the law of cosines when you have a different set of given information.